dangerous career criminal attacked his wife and took her hostage. He never expected her to find a way to call 911, but the moment deputies arrived, he made one of the most reckless decisions of his life.
Every pit.
All right, everyone, I'm Frank Slope. I'm a 25-year veteran of a sheriff's office in Arizona. We're gonna do a body cam breakdown at the end of this video. We're gonna explain why.
On the morning of March 15th, 2026, a woman walked into a Circle K in Palm Coast, Florida, with fresh cuts, a black eye, and blood on her face. Hours earlier, her husband, 24-year-old Corrise Hill, had gone through her phone, allegedly found evidence she'd been cheating, and snapped. According to the report, he repeatedly punched her, pointed a gun at her head, threatened to kill her, and choked her until she blacked out. He then forced her to drive him around all morning.
2026 at 09:47 hours, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office received a transferred 911 call originating from a Circle K convenience store on Palm Coast Parkway. The initial call type was listed as a domestic disturbance, but the dispatcher's note added one modifier that changed the entire response protocol. Caller is locked in the restroom. Suspect is waiting outside. Suspect is possibly armed. The word possibly is the most dangerous word in law enforcement. It means a deputy has to treat a rumor as a reality, and it means a man who believes he has total control over a W.
On the morning of March 15th, 2026, a woman walked into a Circle K in Palm Coast, Florida, with fresh cuts, a black eye, and blood on her face. Hours earlier, her husband, 24-year-old Corrise Hill, had gone through her phone, allegedly found evidence she'd been cheating, and snapped. According to the report, he repeatedly punched her, pointed a gun at her head, threatened to kill her, and choked her until she blacked out. He then forced her to drive him around all morning, taking her car key at every stop so she couldn't escape. But at Circle K, she finally found an opening. She locked herself in the bathroom and begged an employee to call 911 while Corrise waited outside at the pump.
Imagine a pressure cooker. That is the visual anchor for everything you are about to see. Corrise Hill was the heat. The car was the sealed lid. The wife was the steam trying to find a way out. And the deputy pulling into that gas station was the first turn of the valve. The moment that valve opened, the pressure didn't release slowly. It exploded down Interstate 95 at 120 miles per hour. Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to Police Bodycam Legal Analysis. Because we don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence. The legal language here is simple. The report says, aggravated domestic battery. That means the suspect, 24-year-old Corrise Hill, didn't just hit his wife. The report says he punched her repeatedly, pointed a gun at her head, and choked her until she lost consciousness. The state of Florida classifies strangulation as a felony because it is the single greatest predictor of a future homicide. When a suspect chokes a victim, the statistical probability that he will eventually kill her increases by 750%. That is not commentary. That is the medical literature cited in the charging documents. But on that morning, the wife did the one thing that breaks the statistical model. She waited. She waited until he had to refuel the car. She waited until he was distracted by the pump, and then she locked herself in a Circle K bathroom and begged a minimum wage employee to call for help. That employee is the reason this is a body cam case and not a recovery operation. The dispatch log tells the story in fragments.
Vehicle taken off.
DOT.
Eastbound Parkway.
Your dispatch has been updated.
Through the intersection. It took off when I got on scene. Eastbound Palm Coast Parkway, southbound 95.
Vehicle taking off eastbound Parkway. The deputy had just arrived. He saw the victim. He saw the car. And the suspect saw the deputy. The first radio transmission is clinical. It took off when I got on scene. There is no panic in the voice. But the next line is the turning point. Southbound 95. That is when a domestic battery becomes a multi-county pursuit. And that is when the suspect stopped being a husband and started being a fugitive. The pursuit intensified quickly. Deputies called for speeds.
Flagler Charlie 210, you're asking your speed, correct?
Yeah, that's 4. I need a speed from 221.
About 100 miles an hour, southbound 95, emergency lane.
Is it just a simple DV battery? Aggravated.
One unit reported 100 miles per hour, then 120. The radio traffic became a cascade of updates, exit numbers, mile markers. The suspect was weaving through heavy traffic. He was driving on the shoulder. He was sticking his head out the window. At one point, a deputy radioed that he thought the suspect threw something from the car. No one could confirm what it was. But the implication was clear. A man who had already pointed a gun once that morning might be trying to dump evidence. Or he might be trying to dump something worse.
He just stuck his head out the window. I don't know if he threw something out. I didn't see anything come out of the car. We passed the 265. I got one FHP unit. He's now the lead car. I'm behind him.
He is the lead car?
He is the lead car. It's just me and him at this point.
Copy. Continue with them.
The driver has his turn signal on, but he's still driving.
We can believe that the suspect is going to go to his registered address in Sanford. Are we able
Worse.
to...
Then the dispatch center released the single most important piece of information in the entire pursuit. All units, just be advised. Suspect is on active release. Reference first-degree murder. Premeditated. Attempted. That sentence changed everything. Corrise Hill was not a man having a bad day. He was a convicted felon on release for attempted first-degree murder. He had 10 prior arrests since 2015. Aggravated assault. Robbery with a firearm. The deputy on the radio didn't say anything for a moment. And then the pace of the chase changed. This was no longer about stopping a car. This was about preventing a body count.
We're about 120 right now.
Flagler, all units, just be advised. Subjects on Florida inmate release, reference first-degree murder, premeditated or attempted.
It should also be noted that Corrise was already out on release for attempted first-degree murder, with 10 prior arrests since 2015 for charges including aggravated assault and robbery with a firearm. And with the Florida Highway Patrol too far away to help.
Here is the moral refrain you will hear 3 times in this story. The system let him out. The system let him out. The first time, it was a bond hearing. The second time, it was a release program. The third time, it will be up to you to decide. Because at that moment, Corrise Hill was doing 120 miles per hour down a public highway, while the Florida Highway Patrol was still minutes away. He knew the geography. He knew the exits. And according to the radio traffic, he was heading toward Sanford. Toward a specific address. Toward a home where his 1-year-old child was waiting.
We can believe that the suspect is going to go to his registered address in Sanford. Are we able to send a teletype to them to have law enforcement be over there? They have a shared child in common at that address right now, a 1-year-old. There's also the suspect's family member's grandma.
Corrise appears to be heading straight
Deputies
for the house.
realized this in real time. The vehicle is heading to his registered address. There is a shared child in common at that address, a 1-year-old. The radio went quiet. A supervisor asked for an update on FHP's location. The answer was not good. FHP was still too far back. The deputies were on their own. That is the ticking clock moment. Ask yourself this: if a man is already wanted for attempted murder, already fleeing at 120 miles per hour, and already heading toward the home of his own child, how much longer do you wait before you are no longer chasing him, but racing to get there first? That is not a rhetorical question. That is the exact calculation running through the lead deputy's mind. Then, the radios failed.
But right when they needed communication the most, the radios cut out. Now deputies were chasing a violent suspect with no way to coordinate, no way to warn each other, and no easy way to call for help.
Charlie 211, be advised, Charlie 212 no longer has radio reception.
The pursuit crossed into Seminole County, and the communication system collapsed. One deputy keyed his mic and said, "I have 0 radio." Another said, "I can't hear anything." The supervisor tried to patch the radios. It didn't work. The deputies were now driving blind. No updates on speed. No updates on direction. No updates on whether the suspect was still in the car.
Give me an update on speeds.
Negative. Did you copy that I no longer have radio reception with the lead car? Anybody on this call that's following to hear me?
Faircloth, are they still on 95? Because I've got no radio signal at all.
That's correct.
The only thing they knew was that the FHP trooper had taken over as the lead car.
I got one FHP unit. He's now the lead car. I'm behind him.
Copy, he is the lead car.
He is the lead car. It's just me and him at this point.
Copy, continue with them.
The driver has...
And the trooper was not slowing down. The system let him out. That is the second time. Because the suspect should never have been on the street to begin with. But now the system was failing in a different way. Not in a courtroom. On a dark stretch of highway. With no communication and no backup, the FHP trooper made the decision. The pursuit was not going to end at a stoplight. It was not going to end with a surrender. It was going to end with a pit maneuver. The video from the FHP unit shows the suspect's vehicle drifting slightly left. The trooper closed the gap. The front bumper made contact with the rear quarter panel. The suspect's car spun. The rear tires lost traction. The vehicle rotated 180 degrees and came to a stop in a cloud of dust and gravel. The radio was still down, but the image was unmistakable. The chase was over. The felony stop was textbook. Officers drew down on the vehicle.
Get out the car! Get out the car! Hands up!
Hands up! Get out the car!
Hands up! Put your hands on your head! Start walking back towards us!
The suspect was ordered to exit. Get out the car. Hands up. Start walking back. He complied. Slowly. His hands were on his head. The deputies kept him at gunpoint. One officer asked if there was anyone else in the car. The suspect said no. Another asked if there were any guns.
Is there anyone else in the car? No, sir. Is there any guns in the car? Any guns on your person? No, sir. There's nobody in the car. No, sir. Promise you.
Passenger, exit the vehicle.
Can we get him up?
Okay.
We moving up?
Yeah.
I hear someone talking my accent. Got it. Thank you. Tinted back door. Clear. Clear back seat. Clear front seat. Oh, pop trunk. What did my doctor say?
The suspect said no again. But the officers didn't take his word. They cleared the vehicle. Back seat, front seat, trunk. When the trunk opened, the camera captured a plastic bag with what appeared to be loose ammunition. It was not a gun, but it was enough to remind everyone why they had just chased this man for 40 miles.
Tinted back door. Clear. Clear back seat. Clear front seat. Oh, pop trunk. What did my doctor say? Yeah, vehicle's clear. One suspect secured. FHP got him.
So all our guys 10-4, everyone's 10-4?
Yeah, so all our guys are 10-4. FHP did a pit, and then the vehicle stopped. We did a felony stop.
What did he say?
Just hang out there till we get someone out here.
The victim was brought to the scene in a separate patrol car.
When I showed up to the gas station, Med's waving at me, and then all of a sudden this guy takes off.
Have you step out? We're transferring you over to Deputy Moore's vehicle. We're just gonna have you walk there.
I'll grab your shoes later, man. I'm just gonna do a quick search on you, just so you're going in my car.
She was wrapped in a blanket. Her face was swollen. Her shoes were missing. A deputy told her they were going to transfer her to another vehicle. She didn't ask about her husband. She didn't ask about the chase. She asked one question: "Is my baby okay?" That is the moment the body camera captures, something no court document can fully describe. The officer paused. He looked at her. And then he said, "Yes, the baby is safe." She put her head down and cried. Corrise Hill now faces charges in 2 counties. Felony false imprisonment, fleeing and eluding with disregard for safety, domestic battery. In Seminole County, prosecutors are considering additional charges: aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery, domestic strangulation. He is currently held without bond at the John E. Pope Correctional Facility. But here is the question that is not in any press release. Why was a man on release for attempted first-degree murder able to roam freely enough to beat his wife, hold her hostage, and lead a multi-county chase? What specific condition of his release permitted him to be alone with a victim and a vehicle? And who signed off on that condition? The system let him out. That is the 3rd time. And this time, it nearly cost a woman her life and left a 1-year-old child without a father in the home. Here is your call to research. Go to the Flagler County Clerk of Court Public Records portal. Search for case number 2026 CFOO 3112. The charging affidavit is public. Read it. Then come back to the comments and answer one direct question based on the evidence in that document. Which single decision in this case, the release, the pursuit, or the arrest, was the only one that actually protected the victim? Because I know my answer, but I want you to find yours. If this breakdown gave you clarity on how the law works in real time, hit like. Share this video with someone who thinks the system is working fine. Subscribe to Police Bodycam, Legal Analysis, and turn on notifications. We don't just cover the story. We follow the evidence. And the evidence here is not complicated. It is a woman who survived. It is a child who still has a mother. And it is a man who should never have been free to press the accelerator in the first place.